Me start recording. Okay. So yes, in last session we were discussing about the conditional and control flow control. Like we had discussed about the conditional statement, transfer statement, and iterative statement. Though we haven't done any kind of practical so far, but no worries. In today's session we will discuss all the practical part. But yes, I guess in last session I had given one of the assignment. I got one answer. I don't know his name. If he's here, then please mention your name. But he did a well job. Actually, that was the very challenging task was there, and it was the first task which had Ashish, right? Yes, and actually that was the bit challenging task, but he had done. But anyways, I am predicting. I'm going forward. More answer will come from your end. You are not a kind of kid, spoon feeding kids are there, right? So I can do kind of take a stick and will put left and right to you. It's not like that. Your dedication only make you better version. Okay, so just make yourself and decide that whatever assignment will come on my head, I will do that. Then only you can make your better version, right? Hope I am clear with this. So with that, let me start sharing my screen. And do let me know if you guys can see my screen as well or not. Is it my screen is visible? Yes, fine. Okay. Okay. So please take the assignment first thing and complete the assignment, because you are see, first thing is that keep these things. You are investing your 1 hours, not 1 hour. I guess 1.5 hours we are investing, and that 1.5 hours should get worthy, and that 1.5 hours should get worthy for me as well. So keep this thing in your mind so that it should not be waste, because everyone time is important here, right? And I feel that this is the one of the platform where we are giving all those things, all the sort of hands-on experience to you, so that you will not lag from here. And again, I am saying one more thing: after completion of this course, whoever having the year gap of 1 year and 2 years, they can easily feel these things. First thing, you will get that much of clarity of the work, that much of the work experience. That's what I always give. I used to give the assignment. Right now it's the coding assignment. Tomorrow you will get a system designing assignment. Day after tomorrow might be you will get an assignment to test something. So you will get many kind of assignment here. It's not like that only coding. I know in industry every 24/7 hour we are not doing the coding first thing. Sometime we used to think to do what to code, right? That is important. So let's understand. So we had discussed about the condition. So we had discussed about the conditional statement. What is the conditional statement was there? I will discuss once again. I'll give the recap over there. And then we had discussed about the if else. And we'll discuss first thing as I'll give the recap. Then we'll start the transfer statement and then iterative statement. Let me open my coding section. Do let me know if you guys can see my screen. Are you able to see my screen? One minute. Let me. Okay. Just let me turn off this system first. Okay, everyone open your Jupyter notebook first, because that is important. Just turn on and we'll do the coding with us only. No need to do the practice. I know how much you guys are doing the practice. Do the practice with me, along with me. So this is the Jupyter notebook desktop, and here is the Python, and we had created our batch 10th July, and now we are going to discuss about the control flow. So yes. In control flow, we had discussed all the things. Conditional statement. Let's suppose we all used to give, we all are engineers, right? And in order to take admission in engineering college, I had given a very beautiful example. If you guys can see my blackboard, so I had given a beautiful example, like if you want to take admission in engineering college, right? So there is a multiple way to take admission in engineering college. There is a different categories of engineering colleges are there. One is IIT, another is NIT, and third one is normal college. All the private colleges, whatever it's coming, this is coming under this third category, or you can say private college. So in the private college, again, there is a multiple kind of colleges are there, right? You can see variety of colleges are there. Okay, so in order to take admission of different colleges, we used to crack the exam, entrance exam, you can say JEE Main, JEE Advanced, and behalf of that rank, we used to take a participate in different colleges. Yes or no, right? So how we are going to decide? Behalf of this entrance exam. For private college, there is no entrance exam. If you are not giving any kind of entrance exam also, that is well and fine, you can take admission in any kind of college. But yes, first priority will be us, for we have to take admission in these two colleges. If these two colleges is not able to do, then I will check whatever the best college in the private. Okay, so that I will figure it out and I will take admission in that. So this is known as the entrance exam. Okay, so entrance exam is what? Here we are putting our condition. If your cutoff is this, then in this criteria, then you can take admission in IIT. If your cutoff will fall under this criteria, then you're like this. I will tell you, if your cutoff is 80%, then you can take admission of IIT in IIT. And if your cutoff is between 50 to 60%, 50 to 80%, then you can take admission in an IIT. And if your entrance exam cutoff is less than 50, then I can say you can take admission in private. You are not eligible to take admission in an IIT or IIT or private college, right? Hope it is clear. Now this complete statement, this is the business problem. See, try to understand. Business problem came into the picture. You got the business problem. Now, as a programmer, our job is that our business problem has to be converted into technically. Okay, how you are going to deal these things? Let's understand. Let's convert these things, this business problem, into our technical term. Okay, so first thing, let's do these things. Hope you guys can see my screen, right? Just pin my Jupyter notebook. Cool. Yes. Now what I'm trying to do. So college management system. And later on, I will show you how to build your own APIs. I think whoever from the IT background or computer science background, I will show you the same logic you have to put into the form of the API, and that API you can expose in any of the server. And so anyone can use your API and they can check whether they are eligible for IIT, NIT or something not, right? So that also will come into the picture, don't worry. But first, here everyone is the beginner. Keep this thing in a mind, and we'll go with the very slow manner, and very soon we will reach at that position as well, so that you can build your own APIs as well. Okay, cool. So college management system. Cool. So what is that? First, what we are asking with the user, please enter your entrance percentage. Okay. So input, how we can take the user input? Input is the function, right? Input is the function. And here inside of input function, you can ask like, hey, please enter your entrance percentage. Okay, user will enter the entrance percentage, and that percentage might be in float, number, something, yes or no. So how we can typecast? I told you this can be overcome with the help of the eval function also. So whoever interested to use the eval function, use it from your end. Okay, so I am going to use the float function right now. Typecasting, I am doing the float, and I guess I had already told you about the advantage of eval function. Eval function is very intelligent function, and how it is going to work here? Eval function is going to work like this, in this way, like whatever data it is you are passing at the runtime, eval function will evaluate the data and it will typecast according to your data. Okay, so that was the advantage over there, but I am thinking that you guys should apply that same thing. So here I am saying percentage. Here I'm going to store the percentage inside a percentage variable, and now we have to convert this thing. Now we have to we understood the problem, right? Business problem. Now we have to design our logic. So let's see my blackboard. If you are with the pen and notebook, draw this diagram. Okay, I know who are the beginner, they will do the dedicatedly job. I can for sure and damn sure. Who are not from the IT background, they will do these things very seriously. But who are from the IT background, they feel like I know everything. And this overconfidence unko le dutta hai. Got it? So don't be overconfidence. I know you know, but let it to be like this. Whatever you know, keep aside and bring the thing, whatever we are going with this. Okay, so what we are trying to do here, first we are checking if what percentage is greater than 80, greater than equal to 80. Okay, greater than equal to 80, then what we have to do? Print you are eligible, sorry, you are eligible to take the participate you are eligible for IIT. Okay, elif. Now second condition, just spin my black screen, blackboard. So in the second condition is what? If your percentage is greater than 50 and less than 80, then you are eligible for NIT, right? So what I'm saying, if percentage greater than 50 or equal to, okay, greater than or equal to 50, and both the condition has to be matched, and percentage less than 80, then print. But in real time we are not using print first thing. Keep in your mind, none of the programming, none of the organization are using the print. Print is just for your playing purpose. I am showing you. Later on I'll show you logger function, okay, which is very advanced function. And why we are not using print? I will answer this question. You are eligible for, and one more advantages are there in Python. Python support both the thing, double quote as well as single quote. So you can insert your string in the double quote as well as single quote as well. You are eligible for NIT. Okay. Now, if your percentage is not greater than 80, less than 50, okay, sorry, my bad. Elif. You have to write elif. Otherwise, if you will write if, okay, let me write if only. Okay, what will happen? Just see. Or if both the condition will not match, then else, under else. Nothing is getting matched. Then in that case, Acha, in private college also there is a criteria, right? If I'm not wrong, your percentage is less than 50, but greater than but it should be greater than 34 or 40, right? Is it? Something criteria is there. I'm if I'm not wrong, right? Percentage greater than, if your percentage is greater than 50 and less than 80, yes, fine. And if your percentage is greater than equal to 34, I think 34 is there, but let it to be whatever it is. Percentage less than equal to, not equal to, less than 50, then you are eligible to take a print. You are eligible for private college. Try for private college. Okay, now we're done. And whoever percentage is less than 34, then in that case we will keep all those things in else part. Else part print. Okay, now see the problem of this system. Print, sorry, you are not eligible for technical course. Course. Okay, okay, let me see. And if I'm putting here percentage 60, can you see this? It is saying both the answer, like you are eligible for NIT, and as well as it's saying sorry, you are not eligible for technical. What is happening? Just try to understand. 1 second, let me run this code and I'll show you. If I'm putting here 95, then what is happening? You are eligible for IIT, first thing. Okay, and this is also coming, right? So else part is also coming. Else if you're okay, so here actually what we have to write, what is coming in that of else, sorry, no, not eligible. Okay, here I will show you this part once I will clear this first. 95. Okay, you are eligible for IIT. Okay, so if I will write here 34 and 50, if I'll write here 65, or if I'll write here 45, you are eligible for try for private college. Okay, that's cool, that's cool. But if I'm writing here else, what is getting happen? Just try to understand. Print, you are not for technical NFT. 60, if I'm writing NFT, both the at every time this is coming, right? So what you can, how you can overcome this kind of problem? First thing is that see, in this case all the conditions are mutually exclusive. Am I right? Mutually exclusive. Are you understanding? Mutually exclusive. If you are doing the if you feeding the coin, in that coin either head or tail will come, but at the same time head and tail both will not come. That is known as the mutually exclusive event. Similarly, these three conditions are known as mutually exclusive event, right? But actually whoever can take admission in IIT, they can easily take admission in NIT. Yes or no? Is it? Yes. Then this system is wrong, right? Design is wrong. Correct? So whoever can take admission in IIT, they can easily take admission in NIT as well. They should take admission in NIT. Yes. Okay. So what you can do here first is yes. So here you can write percentage less than 34. Then in that case, you can go with this case. And let me execute this query, and here I'm writing 95. Now it is going only you are eligible for IIT. So now question is, now the problem you got, right? Now the solution you have to give. So whoever can take admission in IIT, they can take admission in NIT, IIT, NIT, as well as private college, as well as NFT. This condition you have to put. Choice on to you. I'll raise this question. You take your time. If it will not possible, do let me know. I will help you out, but try once from your end. You have to make your hand dirty. Okay. You know logic, all those things, all the sort of things you know, but at least you have to make your hand dirty. Okay. So only thing is that apply the condition. If anyone who are eligible for IIT, they can participate. I know someone has already started, but yes, that's good. IIT, they can participate in all remaining all. Okay. Cool. Similarly, NIT wala, they can take admission in private college or NFT. So you have to write this condition. Clear? Any doubt, guys? Okay, cool. No, fine. So now let's once again we'll check the elif, if, and else condition. This is the, let me show you if, else, if, and elif condition. If, elif, and else condition. This three condition is there. So syntax is very pretty much simple. There is no syntax wise. There is no dependencies are there. Let me write the syntax first. So how the syntax is there? First, if condition. Number one, if condition you are going to write, and then based on that if condition you are performing the action. And in Python, this indentation is very, very important. Like if you're writing if condition and you start putting your syntax condition or statement from here, it will throw an error in Python. So indentation is matter, because like Java and C and C++, it's not following the braces here like this. It's not following like this. So that we have to maintain this indentation. Okay. So if condition, then once if condition is done, then just do the copy paste action one. You are performing one action. Similarly, I will copy paste and I will paste it here. And here I am writing elif, and here I am writing condition 2, and here I am writing 2. Similarly, I will do one thing, copy pasting, and elif 3 condition 3, and here I am writing action 3. Like this, we'll go one by one, all those things. So similar kind of thing you have to do. At the end, we can write the default condition. If none of the condition will match, then default condition has to be matched. So that will come under the else condition action. You can say default action. Cool hai. So hope you understood. This is the syntax for if, elif, and else. Now let's implement these things. Okay. So how we can do? Okay. So what I am saying, so one problem is there. First, we'll check the brand. Okay. So what we have to do here, we will check. Okay. So what we are trying to do, so we will ask with the user, enter your favorite brand. User will enter the brand. If you will take a brand from the user, and you have to decide whether this brand is belongs to children or not, or something. Okay, so that we have to check. Okay, so similar kind of thing I will build like this. What you can do, you can take a user input, enter your favorite girl name. Okay, we'll take a different scenario, enter your favorite girl name. Something different we can take. enter your age. Simple. Enter your age. User will enter the age, and this age I am taking as a string only, or age in the sense of it is not like that. Enter your name. So user will enter the name, and I will take in the name variable, and I will check in the backend if name equal to Rajesh. So I will print he is ML expert. ठीक है. If name equal to Manish, full stack developer. It should not be if, it should be elif. Is full stack developer. Okay. Similarly, if okay, if Rajesh is not there, Manish is not there, then what is else? If Rajesh is not there, Manish is not there, then what else? You are a student. Else print student. Okay. So let me execute this code, and I will pass here Rajesh. He is ML expert. If I'll pass Manish, he is full stack developer. If I'll pass here something XYZ, student. Got it. So yes, like this it will work. So hope you understood this concept as well, right? If, elif, and else condition, right? Any doubt, guys? No. Okay. Like Java, there is note. Keep this thing in your note. First thing, like Java or C++ or C/CPP, there is no switch concept. Switch concept, right? Switch is a keyword in case of Java and Python. Switch concept. Okay. So hope you understood this. There is no switch concept is there. Now I will give you one question now, and I'm giving you 5 minutes. Don't do Googling first thing. If you really want to learn, then don't do Googling. If you're not able to perform, that's well and fine. We are here to teach you. Okay. First thing is that, well, establish the thing, the concept, and then apply the concept. It's a very simple program, and it's easily available on Google, to be honest, but don't do this. Okay. So what to do? Mark down, and here I'm writing. You have to write a program, find the biggest given number from the, okay, remove this command prompt. Actually, I haven't discussed about the command line argument. From the user, given number from the user. Okay. Are you guys can do this? You have to write a program and take the 3 numbers from the user, and out of the 3 number, which one is the biggest number, that number you have to print it out here. It's a 5-minute job. I guess I had already answered this question, but that time I haven't taught this if and elif condition, but right now it's possible to do this. Are you guys ready with that? Anyone is trying? No worries, I will answer these things. Acha, do it. I'll give you 5 minutes right now. 10:06 is there. 10:11 I'll come back. Okay, just do it. It will not take more than 5 minutes. Actually, it will take 50 seconds. Yeah, I am here. If you guys are facing any kind of issue to discuss something, then please feel free ask me. But complete this thing.
और आपकी मम्मा कैसी है? आपके बगल में है। हाय, उस दिन आपने मुझे ज्वाइन किया था, नमस्ते। मुझे मालूम है, तो इसीलिए आपको ज्वाइन की। आपको पता है इस बीच में इतने सारे लोगों से कनेक्ट करी हूँ ना, और सब यही बोल रहे कि मेरा बेटा सो गया। मैं कल भी रिजल्ट को कनेक्ट की थी।
Okay, I think I'll answer this. Anyone have been done? Okay, fine. So I'll answer this. It's not a big deal. What you have to do, you have to take a user input, right? First thing, input, enter first number. Enter first number. And this number will be in the form of integer. To store inside of integer, and keep these things as a name as a n1. And again, naming convention also you have to learn. So just copy paste these things. It's a second number, and it should be n2. Similarly, this should be n3, third number, and this should be 3, right? So first, what we can choose, first try to understand. Who are very good in reasoning or something, they can understand. Right now 3 numbers, it's easy, but tomorrow out of 30, how we can do? It's a way tedious job will be there. So how we can do? If I'll show you that as well, don't worry. If n1 is greater than n2, if n1 is greater than n2, and n1 is greater than n3, it's mean what? means n1 is biggest number. Yes, so n1 is the biggest number. So what I'm saying, print the biggest number is n1. ठीक है? Any doubt? No doubt. Now second condition, if this condition will be failed, then in that case what we can do? If n2 is greater than n3, it's mean what? My bad, it should be n3, right? If n2 is greater than n3, then in the it's mean that n2 is greater than, means n2 is the biggest number, because this condition is ultimately fail, then only this elif condition will get work. If this condition work, then this condition won't be work. First thing, elif is this way it is going to work. Okay, so either of the condition will be work. So it's mean print the biggest number is n2. ठीक है? And else what you can say, if both the condition will be fail, then else part means what? n3 is the biggest number. The biggest number is n3. n3. Let me show you. 1, I'm passing 10, I'm passing 30. Can you see this? The biggest number is 30. Can you do this for the smallest number? This is the assignment. I will keep this thing and I will change the question to the smallest assignment. Not biggest, this time smallest of the given number. It's very simple. Only I know what to change. Smallest number. Second question. So I'll give you back to back some coding because this interest should be there. So second question is that, okay, I will give you the tweets how to do these things. Second question is you have to take user input, and then after taking the user input, you have to decide whether the given input is even or odd. I'll give you the tweaks, don't worry. What to do? Let's suppose user is passing 6, and if 6 is completely divisible by 2, means is what? It's even number. And completely divisible by 2 means what? Remainder should be 0. And how we are going to check the remainder? We have a modulus operator or remainder operator, right? If you can see, this remainder is showing 0. So you have to check whether this divisible by 2 is remainder is coming as a 0 or not. If it is a 0, means the given number is even. Yes or no? Are you guys can do? No worries. I will do for you these things. So what to do? First thing, I will take these only here. Here I am keeping this thing, input, enter number to check even odd, to check even or odd. Okay, any doubt guys? And that value you have to check. If here you have to apply the condition, if n1 modulus of 2 equal to 0, if this is the case, then print, then only print n1 is comma even number. Okay, any doubt guys? And then else what is that? n1 is odd number. Print n1 is odd number, है ना? Let's see 5. Can you see this? 5 is odd number. If I will run once again, here I am passing 6. It's saying 6 is even number. So like this you have to do. I guess you got some clarity about this, but anyways, so what to do now? The question I'm going to change. You understood even odd, right? And now you have to write a program you have to write a program. Another question is for you only. This is the actual question. I had given this question, but yes, this was the not actual question. My question is, you have to take, means you have to write a program which will print all the even number between 1 to 100. Okay, for that iteration is needed, I guess. No, then in that case you cannot work. Okay, so fine, this question later to be, this question you can keep as an assignment. So what to do, you have to ask with the user to enter the number from the keyboard, and you have to translate that number in the form of like this. If user is passing 1, then you have to write ONE. If user is passing 2, then you have to write like this, TWO2. Are you getting my point, guys? So this kind of question, this kind of program you have to make, right? Am I okay? Are you okay, guys, with this question? So you have to write a program. You have to write a program to take the question, to take the single digit from the keyboard and print the value in English word. Now, chocolate question for you guys. Write a program. Who can complete this? I will for sure, I'll offer you one chocolate. Write a program. Take any number from the user. Any number from the user. And how we used to do in the bank. Let's suppose in bank, how it is getting happen. Just try to understand. You are filling 1,001,111, something like this. Then automatically it is coming like this. It's 11,000. ELEBEN 11,000. 100. Not like this. It should be like this. 100. And don't do Google. I know. I have gone through all the websites, guys. Whoever will do the Google, I can easily catch you. 111. Okay. So you have to convert this number in the form of this way. So who can complete this, for sure, they are eligible for my chocolate bar. And yes, timing is also eligible. Means who can come first in, first out. Like who can complete this question as soon as possible, he or she only will be eligible for this. So write a program, take any number from the user and convert into statements. Okay, and this is very, very important whenever you are going to deal with the NLP kind of problem. I face a lot of time. So yes, this is the star question, you can say. Fine. Okay. Any issue, guys? So far we had discussed about the conditional statement. No doubt. Now I'm going to discuss about the iterative statement. So what do you mean by the iterative statement? So let's understand the iterative statements. What is the iterative statements is there? Okay. Iterative statement, how it is going to work, just try to understand. Let's suppose if I in our class 4, when I was at class 4, at that moment someone was saying, they had given one booklet and they said, if you can fill ram multiple times, like complete book, your all wishes will get filled. I start doing these things, to be honest, and it not yet complete summer vacation I spent, but it not yet completed. And so that my, and I don't know my wish is where or not. So you have to write a program like this. You have to write ram 1,10,050 times. What you will do, you can write like this. Either you can like print ram, though we have a facility to copy pasting, but yes, we can do, but again, it's a tedious job. So iterative statement, if you want to perform same task multiple time, if you want to execute a group of statement multiple time, then we should go for the iterative statement. What is the iterative statement? If you want to execute same task, see, here is the task is same. We have to print ram, right? So if you want to execute the same task, If you want to execute the same task as a multiple time, then always go with the iterative statement, right? So what are the different type of the iterative statement Python support? Python support two type of iterative statement. One is while loop, another is for loop. Guys, clear is that? So one is while loop, another is for loop. Number one, while. Number two, for loop. Okay. So two kind of iterative statement is getting supported by the Python. Only it will not support do while. It is not supporting for each loop. Okay. So this is the again difference between the Java and Python. Java support 4 kind of loop iterative statement, but Python support only 2 kind of iterative statement. Which one is better? Which one is intelligent? Complete task getting done with the 2 loop only, and same task getting done in Java by the 4 loop. So now you can understand. So this is that. Fine. So now let's understand for loop first, and then we'll come up with all the things. So it's a very simple, it's not a big deal here. So let me make it marked down. Try to complete the assignment, that is the important, and you will get all those things. Who said? Yes. For loop. The syntax is very simple. In case of Python, the syntax is very simple, but if you who are from the Java background, they can easily correlate how much easy Python it is as a syntax wise. First thing, for X, you can write X. Syntax I'm saying, in you have to write a sequence here. Sequence, UENCE, sequence, and here you can do like this. Somebody you can write. This is the syntax for that. Okay, so let me show you. This is the syntax of for loop. SYNTAX, syntax for loop. Okay, guys. And now let's suppose sequence. Sequence means what you are understanding. We hadn't discussed yet, like loop, list, tuple, and these other things. But sequence wise, you can understand. I will tell you, like, let's suppose we have a name, and here I'm writing Rajesh. Here I'm writing Rajesh. Okay. This name Rajesh is what? Sequence of character, right? If I'm not wrong. So this name is again can be considered as a sequence. Let's suppose similarly we have a list. L is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something is there, and then we have a Raj, and this is again a sequence. Here is a sequence of elements. Similarly, tuples is there. Don't worry at all. Don't be panicked with the names at all. We will discuss all the names one by one. Okay. But as of now, you can understand sequence is what? Sequence is formatting of the characters, formatting of the elements, formatting of the object, collection of elements. These are known as the sequence. Okay. So let me show you. Just if I am writing name equal to, today is Thursday, right? Rajesh. And if I'm writing for I in name, okay, and if I'll print, see how advanced Python it is. Just try to understand the advancement of. Can you see this? All the elements got printed one by one. And now pin my Blackboard once again. Please pin my Blackboard. Now what happened? So here we wrote here name equal to Rajesh. Okay, sir. Here we wrote name is equal to Rajesh, and here we wrote for I in name. And if I'm trying to print I, so what is getting happen in console? We are getting first R, we are getting J, E, S, H. Correct? No doubt. So what is getting happen? See, try to understand. In case of Java, these things was very typical to handle. But in case of Python, once I'm writing for I in name, so what is getting happen at the backend? Python is very intelligent. Python will understand. Oh, he is saying in the name, one by one element I have to pick. So first time I will referentiate R. So R will come, and I'm printing instead of I'm printing R. Second time I will referentiate A. So second time and this condition, this loop will execute till this string. Until this complete iteration is not getting done, it will still iterate. Okay, so what is getting happen, just try to understand. Second time I will referentiate A and A will print here. Third time I will referentiate J and J will print. Fourth time I will referentiate E and E will get print. Sixth time S, H, and next it is not going to print anything. So hope you understood. Similarly, if you are writing here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something, and here if I am going to store inside of L, and if I'm writing for I in L, this is again sequence of element, and if I'm writing L and I'm printing print I, then what it will does, it will first, I will represent first element, 0th index, so 1 will get print. Second time, and this for loop will execute till the time how many elements are there in the sequence. Okay, so here I will represent 1, then second time 2, 3, like this. Okay, so this way it will get print, so that it is getting every time it is printing in the next line, right? If you want to print in the same line, how we can print this? Can anyone will tell me how we can print in the one line? So that is also possible. Just pin my code wala screen, and you can print. If you can see the signature of this definition of this print function, press Shift tab. You can see definition of this print function, and just read down the doc string. Whenever you are going to apply any kind of function, just try to read what the function is saying, what the doc string is there. So here you can see, if you are not, here is the separator. So by default, print will separator as a space, and here end is always /n. /n means once it is getting print I, then moving the cursor into the next line. R got print and move the cursor into the next line. Second time A will print in the next line. So what you can do, you can mention these things in this way, like SEP equal to comma, separator is equal to comma. Sorry, my bad. End is there. Can you see this? Now in the single line it got, okay. Now one question is there. Okay. So my question is, why this comma after H? So obviously you all can answer. And now my problem is it should not be here. So remove this comma as well. So this is again question for you. Catch is there. So think about that. I can remove this thing. Don't worry. I can remove this thing in one shot. But I am thinking how you guys can do. Okay. Just try to apply the check and finish it up, wrap it up, how we can overcome this comma. Think about the last comma. See, I'm raising the problem for you so that you can, you should not like that spoon feeding kind of thing. What about the last comma? If it is not possible to done, ask me in the next class. I will help you out. Okay. But try once from your end. What about the last comma? Remove that last comma. But why it is coming, that you know, right? Why it is this last comma is coming? I guess. Yes. Everyone got slept or what? Am I audible? Yes. So you guys knows, right, why this last comma came? Okay. So this last comma came just because of that you are writing here. Let's suppose if you are writing name is equal to Rajesh, remove that, and here you're writing for I in name, and here I'm writing print I, comma, end comma. So what is getting happen with this? First time I will reference it R, then it will end with comma. It will enter the comma, and then A, then comma, then J, then comma, E, then comma, S, then comma, H, then after getting H, again it is putting this comma, so that next line is coming, right? Let me put over the charge. Just a minute. So that's what this last comma is coming. So problem, you got the problem, and the solution is what? You have to remove this last comma. That's all. This is my problem, and you have to remove. If you are not able to do, just ask me, I will help you out. Okay. 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 So now so now what to do? Basically you have to do right, you have to take a number, you have to print all the even number and odd number between 1 to 100. So write a program to print all even and odd number between 1 to 100. You have to write a program. I guess this is very easy. Only thing is that, acha, I will tell you. Let's suppose if you want to print 1 to 10, how you can print? For I in range. Range is the function, and in range, what is that? See, if I'm passing here 100 and I'm printing print I. So what is getting happen? It is going to print all the number. Let me take a small number. So it is taking all the number from 0 to 9. It is not going to print 10 till 10, means before 10 whatever number is coming. So it always start from 0, end with the number whatever you had given less than 1. Okay, so if you are not mentioning the starting point, let's suppose if I'm mentioning here starting point as a 3 comma this. Now my print will start from the 3 and till 9 it will go. Okay, so now this is the fine, this is the well and good, but this is all about the fine. Now okay, this, hope you understanding. Now let's suppose if I am going to pass here some more parameter too. What happened here? Can anyone help me out? What happened? So here range function, how it is getting worked? Just pin me my blackboard once again. So here range function, how it is going to work? And here you are going to write starting point, syntax starting point, from where it has to start, ending point, it has to where it has to end, ending point, comma, difference. You have to write a difference, means what difference it should get come here. Okay, so here if you're writing here range like this, so let's suppose if I'm writing range of 1 comma 20 comma 2, so what is getting by default, this difference will be always 1, so that it is going to print 0 1 2 3 4 5 like this, blah 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 19. But if you're writing here 2, what is getting happen? First it will print 0, then 1, remove, left the 1, then 2, then 4, then 5 6, then 8, then 10, like this. All the things will get print. If you're writing here 3, two things will get left. Okay, so 0, and then this will drop, 3, then this 4 and 5 will drop, and 6 will be there, like this it will come. So if you understood the range function, so now you know the range function, how the range function is getting work, right? Is it going more? Is these things is going over your head, or can anyone please confirm me so that I can control my pace? Continue. Okay, cool. Thank you. So what is that? Just try to understand. See, whenever the things will get over the head, just let me know. I will explain in a different way. Okay, so it's not like that class is going on, so Satnarayan Bhagavan ka katha hai and we have to listen. It's not like that. If something is going over the head, just let me know and ping me privately. I will for sure help you out. Okay, So what is that? Just try to understand. You have to take a 1 to 100 number. Fine. ठीक है, मैंने ले लिया. Now all the number you have to take 100, and you have to write all. You have to put a condition inside of. I'm not going to help you out. You have to put a one condition. If that number is even, then only print. Otherwise, don't print. Hope you understood the question. Write a program to print all the even number between 1 to 100. This is the question. WRIT, write a program to print all even number between 1 to 100. Any doubt, guys? Are you guys can do? It's very simple. I guess everyone can do this. It will not take much time. Okay, I think that's all for today. We'll start tomorrow while loop, because tomorrow also we have class. So I'm not going to make hurry burry, because I had given many of the assignment for you today. So let me share this notebook so that assignment is here only. So you guys can carry on with this assignment, and please complete the assignment ASAP and let me know if you face any kind of issue. Whoever will do, I think they will face issue, and who will not do, then for them no issue as well. Cool. So MLD, it's a 20th July, right? 20th July batch. Okay, so let me forward this notebook, and I think one of the mail ID is not joined here. Yes. Anyone has joined new, just ping me your mail ID so that I can add you in the panelist. If anyone is new who had not registered their mail ID, then for sure you will not access, you cannot access first my recording video and also the class notes. First tell me your mail ID, because I have to map here. Python, and it's 8th July. No, it's not 8th July. It's I guess 10th July. Control flow. Yes, I have been shared you. Just check that. And assignments are there only, in that only, whatever question I had given. Any question, guys, so far? Any kind of questions? So from tomorrow onwards, we will start while loop, and then we will start some half an hour. It will take while and this transfer statement, and then we'll start tuple, list, and all the sort of data types. Okay. So again, tomorrow class is very, very important. These are the class if you have skipped, that's well and good. But from tomorrow onwards, the things will be very critical and things will be very interesting as well. So if you have a good command on those things, you can easily build your own APIs. You can easily build your own application from the scratch. So with that, thank you guys. Thank you. We'll see you tomorrow at the same time. Yes.